Greetings. Waiting for people to come in. And I'm gonna go and grab some water in a second. And then come back and start the video. Hey, happy to see everybody. Just making sure everyone has the notification that I'm going live. Then I'm gonna go grab some water and I will be right back. Okay, let me grab my water. I'll be right back, guys. All right, we are back. We are back. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good to see everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Kendra, good to see you. Thanks, guys. Ha! I love the being paid while you watch. That's the best. All right. So tonight is my last class in the beginning of the Kundalini Protocols series. And tonight, what we're going to discuss is motivation. And the fact that honestly, you've always been motivated. That motivation is not really a problem. Motivation is not really an issue. And so in this video, we're going to talk about what the real issue is so that we can stop thinking that motivation or inspiration is the issue. But, greetings, Adora. Before we begin, let me introduce myself for those who may not know me. I am the Apetabi Iolosha Oshunyemi Akalatunde, and you are watching Got to Be Oshun Television. Here, I give Black women and femmes the tools that they need to break free from the patterns of muling and mammying, and instead teach you how to turn that energy that you're used to giving out to everyone else in on yourself so that you will have what you need to fulfill this glorious big badass destiny that you chose. So welcome if you are new, and welcome if you ain't new. Good to see everybody. So we're going to talk a little bit about decolonizing our inspiration. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned as a teacher, as a mother and as a student of human development. Because in order to teach, they teach you something called pedagogy, and pedagogy teaches you how human development works, right? So I've been a student of human development as long as I have been an English teacher. It's something that they teach you in order to give you the credentials to properly teach. So let's start with the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. The beginning is the reality that oppression alters your brain chemistry. So there is a way that the human brain operates. There is a type of brain that we are born with. Each person is born with their own unique type of brain. Believe that coming from me as an educator, right? But there's a type of brain that we are born with. And then if oppression is long term, if oppression is consistent over a long period of our lives, the chemistry in our brains, even the neural pathways that our brains make, change. And they are changed, right? So that is the first reality. That is the first thing that I want us to be aware of as we're working with ourselves, as we're being kind and gentle and loving to ourselves, right? So I am, as some of you all know, a homeschooling mother of 6. I have 4 children that have already graduated from college. I have 2 children that already have advanced degrees. And I have a child that is a sophomore in college now and a child that is a junior in high school, right? So before entering into the PhD program in 2019, I had homeschooled all of those children. Once I became a PhD student, I put my 2 youngest children back in the school system. But I'm a homeschooling mother of 6. My oldest child is in her mid 30s. So this is how long I've been doing this. I'm giving you my credentials. I'm giving you my experience and where these observations are coming from. In addition to that, since I graduated from Fisk University in 1993, I have been an educator of K through 12 children, right? I did not ever teach in the school system, but I did teach in summer programs, after school programs at community centers, and in the housing projects in Nashville, Tennessee. So I taught all of those kind of after school type programs and all of those cultural enrichment programs because I have the credentials to do that with my bachelor's degree. So that's since 1993, right? Since what year did that happen? 2002. I have been a university educator, meaning that I have been an educator at the university level, teaching college students, right? So those are my credentials. This is where these observations are coming from. And this is all backed up by the information that's out there. This is all backed up by science. This is all backed up by research. I'm giving you my observations, but you can go and check and see whether or not what I'm saying is accurate, as I always encourage you to do, right? Consider the source and always do your own personal check. So, first thing, human beings love to learn. Human beings adore learning. There is nothing that a human loves more than learning new things. We love it. We come into the world loving it. We come into the world being fascinated by the world. We come into the world being enchanted by the world. The world is amazing to us. And as we come into the world, we want nothing more than to understand everything around us. When I look at this tapestry that I have hanging on my wall, what I want to know is, how did they make this? Is this batik? Is this screen printing? Did someone hand paint this? Is it some kind of tie-dye? Where was it made? Is this native to the people that live in that area, or were they forced to do it by capitalism as a way to live? Are these natural dyes? How are natural dyes made? Did they use plants to make these dyes, or are these dyes made out of chemicals? If they make the dyes out of chemicals in ancient times before capitalism, did they used to make the dye out of plants? And would a plant make a dye this color? That's the normal human brain. That's normal. We are looking at things and we are wondering. We are looking at each other and we are wondering. You are looking at me on the screen and you're saying, how did she get her hair to do that? I wonder what her routine is. What kind of stuff does she put in? Is there a particular thing that she's using that makes it curl like that? What is that color? The last time I saw her hair was a different color. Did she color it since I've seen her, or was I just not looking at her hair? Because she did have braids in the summer. That's natural. Right? This is natural. You're looking and you're wondering. The human being loves to learn. We love to learn. You are never going to meet a child coming into any sort of environment where they can learn who is not absolutely joyful and excited to learn. This is how children wonder about the world, right? They come into kindergarten so excited to learn. They come into their first after school program so excited to learn, right? They come into their first summer program so excited to learn. August is saying that she's wondering about the earrings, right? Where did she get them honeybee earrings? Where did those come from? Who did she make them? Did somebody make them for? It's normal, right? You wonder. You want to learn. You want to know. This is normal. This is part of being human, right? And so, as a teacher, what I have to tell you is that usually by the third grade, so we come into school at 5, we are usually 6 in the first grade, we're usually 7 in the second grade, we're usually 8 in the third grade. And the unfortunate thing that I have to tell you is that usually by the third grade, children have lost their desire to be in school. What did we think that school was supposed to do? We thought that school was going to answer those questions. Like, what kind of dye did they use to make that batik? Where did she get those gorgeous earrings, and how do you make those? Where did she get those bangles, and can I make those? Where would I source the brass if I wanted to make those? How do I bend it to make it do what I want it to do? How does she do that with her hair? Can I do that with mine? Can I do that with other people's hair? We thought that school was going to answer those questions. So, what destroyed that love of learning, or what we thought destroyed that love of learning, is the education system. I'm telling you this as a teacher. The education system is what destroys what you consider to be your love of learning. What I'm telling you as a teacher and a counselor and a priestess and a mother is that it hasn't gone anywhere. Your love of learning is still there, but what destroyed that connection is the education system. The reason that the education system destroyed that connection is because it uses coercion, it uses force, and it uses pain. If you tell someone, if you do not learn this, I am going to give you an F, that is a form of pain. It uses pain. Now, when I was in school, it used real pain. We had corporal punishment in schools, right? You could get beat at school. You could get beaten with a leather paddle. It's a piece of leather about that wide and about as long as my arm, or with a piece of wood about as long as my arm. You could be beaten in school when I was in school. So this is what destroys, or what we feel like destroys, our love of learning. You never stop loving learning. You never stop wanting to know. When children come into a kindergarten class, when children come into a summer program, when children come into an after school program, I do not have to inspire them to learn. They are excited. They can't wait. They want to hear. They want to know. But do you know what else? Do you know what else? When a group of adults come into a class and I'm teaching about Oshun, or I'm teaching about divine sexuality, sex magic, or I am teaching about how to cast a spell to protect yourself from narcissists, those people are still just as excited. They want to know. They have to know. They are excited to learn. It is not destroyed. But this is what alters your brain chemistry. I teach college composition right now. And when students come into my class, I announce to them, you are all magnificent storytellers. Every human being is a magnificent storyteller, and you all are magnificent storytellers. And I say, because you are magnificent storytellers, you will be magnificent writers. And they look surprised. Some of them look like they don't believe me. Some of them still have that excitement on their face, but some of them look blank and numb because they have had what I call reading and writing trauma, right? Somebody's put a bunch of red marks on their paper. Somebody has made them read out loud, and people in the class have laughed at them. And sometimes the teachers laugh at the students too. Somebody has put them in a class to get help with their reading, but there's a stigma attached to that class. This is our reading and writing trauma. And then you get into my class and I say, everybody's a magnificent storyteller, so everybody is a wonderful writer. And you don't believe me. But it's not lost. It's in there. You still want to tell the story. You still want to do the thing. The same is true for us. Outside of coercion and force and pain, you don't have to be motivated to learn. I don't have to motivate human beings to tell stories. Human beings love to tell stories. We are storytelling beings. We love to talk about ourselves. We love to talk about what happened down to work today. We love to talk about what happened down to the church, what happened on our trip, what is happening in our love life. We love to do that. Human beings are storytellers. We are made of stories. I don't have to motivate you. All that I have to do is take the blockages out of the way that make you believe that you can't do it. I don't have to motivate you. Now, it's a college course, so I have to give you a grade, right? But if I had created it, I wouldn't have to. That wouldn't be required. You would sit with me until you were at peace with your storytelling skills. That's how I teach, right? So you love to learn. Nobody has to motivate you. It is naturally within you to learn. You may hate the school setting. You may hate the educational environments that people are forced into. You may hate to have to read. You may hate to have to write. Reading and writing are not natural functions of the human brain. These are things that we have adapted to do. So most people do not necessarily like to do them because it's not a natural function. We have adapted to do it, right? It doesn't come naturally. So you may hate reading and writing, right? But that you don't hate learning. You love to learn, right? So no coercion is required. Let me give you another example. Being a mother and an educator from K through 12, all the way into the university level, all the way up to the graduate level. In my first position, I was the writing assistant for all students in the school. And that meant I would read over your papers and help you to fix it, help you to get it correct. But I was also the writing assistant for the people that taught at the school. Right? So all the way up into adults, right? This is my teaching experience, right? Since 1993, since 2003, 2004, 2005, right? From then, this is how long I've been doing this. And I've been a mother for 30 some odd years. The other thing that people love to learn. There's nothing people love more than learning, but this one right here that I'm about to say is a close second. People love to play. Oh my God, we love to play. We love to play a good old game. We love to be physical. We love physicality of any kind. We love to throw a ball. We love to roll a ball. If you are a person who runs, you love to run. If you are a person who swims, you love to swim. If you are a person who dances, you love to dance. People love to play. Man, I think actually playing and learning might be on the same level. I don't think there's one above the other. People love to play. People love to move their bodies and do something fun. We love to play. We love a good old not sometimes some people love the competitiveness of it, but outside of that, we love the camaraderie of playing together, right? We love to throw the ball and catch the ball, right? We love to try to put the ball in the basket. We love to try to hit the ball with something. We love to run over here and grab something and take it back over there if you're a person that runs, right? We love to play. People are born loving to play. Whatever way that your body can move and whatever way that your unique body moves, you come into the world moving it. And you move it every day and you are delighted with the movements of that body every day. That is playing. And we love it. Nobody has to motivate you to play. I don't have to motivate you to do that. When students come into school as young children and it is time to play, I don't have to say, come on, let me encourage you to go out here and play. That's what they waiting on. They waiting on that. Oh, it's time to play. Oh, time to play, right? Everybody's ready to play. Everybody's ready to play. What destroys that love of play? Two things. First thing is rules around playing that have usually been created by adults, right? Rules around playing. Oh, you got to throw the ball. In order to be good at it, you've got to throw the ball this way. If you cannot get the ball in the basket several times, you're not good at it, right? If you can't run this way, if your legs don't allow you to run this way, if your body doesn't allow you to move in this way, you can't do it. You're not good at it. These are rules set by adults. Children don't care about that. Children do not care about that. One time I had taken my children to Barbados when they were little. And I was staying at my brother's house, and across the yard was another group of children who lived in another house across the yard from us. And so when you get outside of Western culture and when you get back to what Western people derogatorily call the third world, wow, you wake up early. Just naturally, you wake up early. The roosters are crowing. People are moving. It's warm. It's nice. You don't feel the oppression of racism on your back, and you wake up early. So lo and behold, my children were waking up early by themselves, and they were getting up and they were making breakfast, and they couldn't wait to go outside and play with these children that they had never met. With which there was a little bit of a language barrier. I don't know if you've ever heard the Bajan accent, but it's very strong. It's very different from anything, even throughout the rest of the Caribbean. So it's a bit of a language barrier between them and these children. And what those children would do in the morning was get up and play cricket. Raise your hand if you know how to play cricket. Put in the comments, I know if you know how to play cricket. See how I ain't putting nothing in there? I forgot that cricket was a game till we got there. I was like, cricket? I had read about it in books. I had probably seen it on some British movie, but cricket? It's just black children out here in the world, just with a whole set, and they get up in the morning, they play cricket. So my children would jump up and they would get dressed and they would eat and they would get themselves ready and they would run outside to go and play cricket with the children in the neighborhood. My children had absolutely no idea how to play cricket. My children had never seen a cricket set, nor had I. My children had no idea the rules of the game, but nobody else was out there but children. So children showed other children how to do it. And when they got it wrong, everybody laughed. And when somebody failed, everybody laughed. And when somebody did something wrong or dropped this or moved this, everybody laughed. When somebody picked something up too soon, everybody laughed. So my children loved it. They thought they loved cricket from that. By the next time we went back and they were obsessed with doing it right, they didn't play cricket again. Those same children were there. They were there. They remembered the children, but they didn't play cricket again. Everybody loves to play. Everyone loves to play. Nobody loves to be made fun of. Nobody loves to be held to rules that may not work for everybody. Right? I am 5'2". I miss Barbados too. I miss Barbados bad every single day of my life. Every morning I wake up and think of Barbados. So I miss y'all too, right? So nobody likes to be told, I'm 5'2", is what I was saying. I just found this out as an adult, to play volleyball. I thought I hated volleyball my whole life. Because if you are 5'2", the way that the volleyball net is set up, or that it was set up in my junior high school and high school, I could never get that ball over that net, ever. So one time I was playing it with my family at a family reunion with my cousins, and my uncle let it down. He didn't let it down low. He let it down enough so that I would still have to have some effort to get the ball over the thing, but it wasn't so high that I was never going to be able to do it. My body is not made, right? I did not grow the kind of body that is going to be able to get that over that net that is set up for people who are much taller than me. That's not the kind of body that I grew. So what made me love the game was somebody taking my needs into consideration, as opposed to saying, these are the rules. In gym class, my whole life, a gym teacher said, that's the net. Everybody else can hit it over the net. Yeah, everybody else is usually at least a foot taller than me. I'm sure they can hit it over the net, right? Giving people access. Yes, Alicia. Right? We all love to play. We all want to play. We all want to try to throw the ball over the thing and get the ball here and do this and that and roam and run and do the things. But there are all of these rules that adults made, and that is what destroys, or you think it destroys, your desire to play. Then you get older and they isolate play into this thing that they call exercise. And you know what it doesn't have? It still doesn't have the movements that you love to do. It still doesn't have the camaraderie with other people that you're looking for. It still doesn't have the laughter and the fun and the, oh, damn, I made a mistake, and the stories to tell. Exercise doesn't have that. It is an isolated group of movements. And you think that you don't like to move your body when everybody loves to play. You still love to play. Once you remove the coercion, once you remove the harm, once you remove the force and the pain, everybody loves to play. Now, when I say pain, let me make myself clear. Sometimes when you do a lot with your body, your muscles are going to be sore. Sometimes when you use your body in a way that you haven't used it before, your muscles are going to be sore. That's not the pain I'm talking about. Effort is not pain. We've been taught to equate effort with pain. That's what we're talking about when we say no pain, no gain. we mean without effort, nothing can happen. And that is true. Take pain out of it. Feeling that pain should motivate you, that is an oppressive thought. The oppressors have taught us this. Because you know what the oppressors said? They said these Africans that we have enslaved are lazy. They're not going to do anything unless we beat them. That's what the oppressor said. And that is the beginning of you associating pain with action. You want to do the action. You want to play. You want to throw the ball. You want to hit the ball with the bat. You want to roam from one side to the other side. You want to do the thing. You want to throw and try to see if you can get it in the basket. You want to do all of that stuff. All of that stuff is fun. But sitting around doing one movement 30 times, that's not fun. You might not want to do that. Sitting around lifting something over your head 50 times is not fun. You might not want to do that. There is actually no such thing as exercise. There is humans that love to play, and there is capitalism that has isolated a group of movements because they can make money off of it. Ain't no such thing as exercise. These are movements that they've snatched from our play, right? Everything requires effort. Me sitting my ass up straight on this bed requires effort. So when we say no pain, no gain, we're not talking about take out the effort. We're talking about the belief and the erroneous belief and the oppressive, harmful belief. Take out of your head the harmful belief that you have to be forced to do things that are good for you. You don't. You love to do things that are good for you. You love to learn. You love to play, right? You love to learn. You love to move. Human beings love to move. It is natural and normal. You hate the rules. What destroys or you think destroys that desire to move is those rules and that isolating a set of movements. Finally, as a health advocate and again a student of human development, I have learned that the human brain is wired to, not even wired, the human brain is magnetized towards bright colors and towards certain scents. It's magnetized towards that. These things pull you in. And those bright colors and those certain scents are the colors and the scents of the fruits and vegetables. We are magnetized towards that. The human brain is magnetized towards that. Nobody has to tell you when you want to take a walk, a calming walk. Would you rather be walking through a green space, through a space with lots of green? Or would you rather walk through a space that is gray and beige? Which space would you love? Which space would you love to be walking through in the morning? The green, right? Most of us are going to want to walk through the green space. If we're not walking through a green space, we want to be by water. We want to hear the sounds of water, right? We are drawn to these things. A green space naturally calms our central nervous system. It naturally helps us to calm down and to problem solve, right? Because green is a color that we're drawn to. The foods that are the best for our body are also green. We are drawn to that color green. We are drawn in particular to green leaves. We're drawn to that naturally. And that's what's best for your body, right? We are drawn to bright colors and sweet or very pungent or soury, tangy flavors on your tongue where your palate is. These are the flavors that perk you up the most. Sweet or pungent or tangy. These perk your tongue up. It's in your tongue. You love fruits and vegetables. Human beings love fruits and vegetables. We love them. Now, particular ones you may not like. As I said at the beginning, we all got our own type of brain. So I love fruits and vegetables. I'm one of them people that cilantro tastes like soap to me. So I don't like that. Right? That's my brain. But most other green things, I like it. Right? I like it. Now, I didn't know I liked it my whole life. And so that's what we're going to get to. That's what we're about to get to. But naturally, you are drawn to the green. The green draws you in. The bright colors draw you in. Any space where people want to activate your happiness, any space where people want to activate your calmness and your peace, any space where people want to activate your creativity, they paint it in bright colors, the colors of fruits and vegetables. They paint it in those bright colors, right? That's already been proven. Any space where people don't want you to, where people want you to feel numb, any space where people don't want you to have emotional reactions, they paint it beige and gray and in colors that we are not necessarily drawn to in nature. You can look it up. You can look it up. We're drawn to that. So why do so many people believe that they don't like fruits and vegetables? Why do people believe that? People believe that they don't like fruits and vegetables. This is something that my daughter discovered. I raised my children as vegetarians from 1993 and then as vegan from the year 2000. And my ex-husband was a chef. He was a trained chef. He had his certificate or whatever you get in chefhood. And he was also from the Caribbean. So his palate was different from mine. So my children were introduced to a wide range of different types of fruits and vegetables, and they were taught how to properly cut things, how to properly saute, how to properly grill, how to properly bake, how to do those types of things because their dad is a chef. And so they were always experimenting with different fruits and vegetables. And because we didn't eat meat, we bought a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, right? And so that was what they were eating in our house. So when they got out into the world and they realized that other people didn't like fruits and vegetables, they were shocked. They were like, how could you not like fruits and vegetables? They're so good. And so my daughter, once she went off to college and she would go into the cafeteria at the illustrious Fisk University, she went to my alma mater, and she was like, oh, this is why people don't like vegetables. She was like, what is this? Why is it so limp? Why is it so flavorless? Why isn't it green? Why does it look this weird color? So most of what you think is you not liking fruits and vegetables is the fact that the fruits and vegetables that you may have been introduced to are either frozen or canned. Frozen and canned fruits and vegetables are not good, right? They don't really have a taste. They don't really have a flavor, right? So if you think you don't like fruits and vegetables, I submit to you to try them fresh, right? I submit to you to try them fresh. I'm going to give you an example of a vegetable that I grew up thinking that I hated. I grew up thinking that I hated okra. Oh my God, I thought I hated okra. Any Black Southern grandmother or any Caribbean grandmother cooks okra the same way. How our grandmamas cook okra? Somebody tell. I want my Caribbean sisters to say in the comments. I want my Black Southern sisters to say in the comments, because across the diaspora, our grandmamas is cooking okra the same way. How do our grandmamas cook okra? Now, if your grandma was doing something fancy, don't put hers in there. Put the regular, everyday grandmama how they cook okra. Because I swore I hated it my whole life. Not only could you not put it on my plate, I was going to cry when I saw it on the stove. They just boil it down. They stew it. Now the fried I like, but most of the time they was boiling it down, boiled to death. So when you would look in the pot, it would just be these things and slime and these seeds. And I was like, oh my God. For the first time I was old enough to look in the pot, I knew I hated that. And please don't put that on my plate. I'm going to cry if you put that on my plate. I thought I hated okra. And then one time, my godmother, I was at a ritual with her in Milwaukee, and I was pregnant, and I hadn't eaten all day for at the ritual. And she said, "Oh, you've got to eat." And she went in the kitchen and she started cooking for me. And she pulled out okra. And I was like, "Oh no, I am hungry, and I am pregnant, but oh no, I hate this." She put out some fresh okra and she cut it up. And she cut it up with some sweet peppers, some red bell peppers, and with some onions. And she fried it in a pan. She didn't batter it. She just fried it in a pan with some palm oil and some other seasonings. And it was delicious. And I realized, oh, I don't like the way that this has been prepared. Oh, I don't like the way this tastes if it was frozen before. Right. And after that, I then started trying the battered fried okra that a lot of our grandmothers made. And I realized, oh, I like it. Right. So sometimes there may be something that you don't like because you don't like the way it has been prepared. Most of the time, it's because you've only ever had it frozen or canned. And frozen and canned is the worst consistency. It is the worst flavor, and it is the worst introduction to a fruit or a vegetable. But your eyes, your body, your olfactory nerves, and your palate are already geared to like these things. You like them, right? Now, the other reason that many of us do not like fruits and vegetables is because we grew up in a food desert. Food deserts are created by capitalism. They are created by racism, right? They are created by zoning. And within a food desert, the only foods that we could get were very highly processed foods. And very highly processed foods have ingredients in them that are addictive. So I am pescatarian. I eat a little bit of fish, a little bit of eggs. But for most of my adult life, I was vegan. But I can stand here and say right now today, there isn't anything wrong with eating chicken. There's something wrong with eating a processed thing that's being called chicken that is mostly color and filler and chemicals. That's going to harm you, right? But if that's what you've been eating your whole life, it has rewired your brain. And that's what you think is good. That's what you think tastes good because it's familiar to you. And your brain has been rewired to long for that, right? But your normal natural brain, you love fruits and vegetables. This isn't to say that you shouldn't eat meat or shouldn't eat this or that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is what the human being loves. The human brain is wired to love. I don't have to motivate you to do that. I didn't have to motivate anybody to say, I would rather be walking in a green space. I don't have to motivate you to love the color green. I don't have to motivate you to love to walk on the beach or to love to walk by the river. You don't require motivation for that. That is your own connection with Earth Mother Onile and the natural realm of which you are a part. That's your own connection that draws you to that and makes you want to do that. If we didn't have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, all of us would be down here walking by the river. When I lived in Barbados, early in the morning, the elders that had retired from their jobs would walk to the sea and take a sea bath every morning. You immerse your body in the sea. Now, Barbados is small. So usually wherever you are, the sea is kind of close. And I started doing it too, right? Because you didn't have a bathtub. In a regular house sometime, in places in the Caribbean, there's no tub, right? But our ancestors didn't lose what I talked to you guys about in the video the day before yesterday, that desire to know that you got to get immersed in some salt water every day. So the elders will walk to the sea every morning, take a sea bath. And everybody wants to do that. Who don't want to get in the ocean first thing in the morning? Who don't? That's normal, natural desire. And it is what is best for your body, for your brain, for your relationships, for your emotions. It is what is best. If we didn't have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning here in Georgia, we'd all be walking over here by the Chattahoochee. We'd all be over here by the river. Exactly. Exactly. All of us are feeling angst headed to work because we're supposed to be rising. I'm supposed to be yelling out my window to you, morning, sister. You're going down to the sea, and we supposed to be walking down to the sea with babies. If we still got babies, with babies. If the babies is grown, with ourselves. We supposed to be walking down to the sea. Don't nobody have to tell us. There's no motivation required. We don't have to put a thing on our phone that says, get up and walk to the sea. If you by the sea, you want to go get in the sea. If you by the river, you want to go to the river. If you buy big, beautiful green spaces, you want to be out in those big, beautiful green spaces. No motivation is required. No motivation is required. So what happens is there is a thing that human beings are drawn to and normally love to do. We love to learn. We love to play. We love fresh fruits and vegetables. And if we can sit somewhere and learn and play and have our fresh fruits and vegetables, that is what we are going to do. And even better, we're going to grow our own fresh fruits and vegetables. We're going to create our own little waterways. My great-great-grandmother put a koi pond in the front yard, right? So she could go out and be with water every day, right? We're going to create our own little waterways, right? We're going to put a fountain here. We're going to grow this flower here. This is our favorite flower. We're going to grow this food right here because, oh my God, we love to eat that, right? That's how you flow. That is how you flow. That is a normal flow. Nobody has to motivate you to do that. Nobody has to motivate you to do that. If we all lived in the little village, the little town where I grew up, and we was all in our little nice little cabins, like I grew up in, we had a tin roof, right? When I was little, had a tin roof. At some point, my daddy bricked it in, and now it's a house, you know. But when I was little, had a tin roof. I remember hearing the rain on the tin roof, right? And we was all living cabin to cabin. And you would be growing your cucumbers. I don't like cucumbers, so I ain't growing that. I'm growing tomatoes over here. I'm growing okra over here. You down the street growing some turnip greens. You got some collards over there. Oh, you done got kale. That's a fancy new green. Then we are sharing that all the time. We cooking that together all the time. We walking down to the river and doing us a little bit of fishing. And we walking all the way to the river to do us a little bit of fishing. On our way back and forth to the river, we sharing stories, so we learning from each other. We throwing something from side to side, right? We're playing. The act of catching the fish in the river is play. We're playing. We're catching the fish in the river. Somebody got to clean the fish. Somebody going to make up a fish cleaning song. And every time we get together, we going to sing the fish cleaning song. Somebody is the best person with the seasoning. So that's the one that's going to season the fish and sit over there and cook the fish while I'm over here cooking my tomatoes and greens that I grow in my yard. Then we sharing a meal. We dancing, we singing, we playing, we sharing more stories. That's life. That's life. Ain't nobody got to motivate you to do that. You hungry? Go outside and get you some food. Right? You restless? Get up and walk to the river. You feeling a little bit down? Go sit by the water. Hold a meditation. Hold a medzi. Right? Hold a little meditation. Go sit by the water. You are normal. I don't have to motivate you to do that. Nobody has to motivate you to do that. Okay. Coercion. Forcing people to do things harms your body, it harms your brain, and eventually it harms your health. Anything that you forced yourself to do is going to bring harm, right? If you want to live and to play and to eat outside of coercion, it is your responsibility to rewire your brain back to normalcy. Back to normalcy. That's your responsibility, right? I'm going to tell you what is not going to happen. As long as oppressors are benefiting from coercing us to do things, they are not going to rewire our brains back to normalcy. They're going to make us believe that it's no pain, no gain. Nobody wants to exercise. Yeah, because exercise doesn't exist. It's an isolated group of movements that y'all created. Everybody want to play. Everybody want to play. Release us from these jobs and we would play all day. We would play all day. We're going to find ways to play because that's human. Don't nobody want to eat healthy. That's because you guys have fucked up all the healthy food and made it slimy and disgusting and boring. It ain't even beautiful no more when you take it out of its package. Release us from this raggedy ass processed bullshit, and we would all love to eat healthy food. Right? It's what normally calls us. It's what naturally calls to us. There is nothing that I hear more often from people who are away from home, be they college students, be they travelers, be they people who have migrated from other lands, then, oh, I cannot wait to get a home cooked meal. What does that mean? When we say we want a home cooked meal, what are we talking about? I can't wait to get a home cooked meal. What are we talking about? What made grandmama's cake the best? She made it from scratch. My grandma made it from scratch, or made most of it from scratch. What made grandmama's turnip greens the best? She grew them outside and she picked them and she made them. It was fresh, right? So when we talk about we miss the home cooked meal, we miss the stuff that tastes like this. Oh, when my auntie used to make it. Oh, when my grandmama used to make. We're talking about fresh foods. We're talking about fresh foods. We love that. Don't let anybody convince you that you don't like healthy foods. You love it. You love it. You love healthy foods. When you say, oh, a good home cooked meal, that you're talking about healthy foods. That's what you're referring to. So no one else is going to help you to return your brain to normalcy. Nobody else is going to help you to understand that pain and coercion and force are not required to make you and force you to do the things that are good for you. As long as you believe that you have to force yourself to do things that are good for you, then you don't really love yourself and you don't really trust yourself. And nobody's going to help you to truly love yourself and truly trust yourself. It's your responsibility to do that for yourself. So I'm sharing this tonight to introduce you to the class that I am teaching tonight at 7:30. So the class that I am teaching tonight at 7:30 is the class you have always been motivated. Right? And what I give in the class is I give you, first of all, the real narrative, the structure that you need to rewire your brain, the structure that you need to let go of the narrative that you have been told. So I'm going to give you the structure for that. In the class, I'm also going to give you some ancient West African herbs that our ancestors used daily to give themselves energy and to help themselves focus. None of it is expensive. Economics is not going to bar you from this, right? So You're going to have in the class a rewiring of your brain. I'm going to give you the information that you need to start the process of rewiring your brain. Second, I'm going to give you the herbs that you need to have the energy that is required to get up and do these things, right? And the time frame for you to take the herbs, right? Third of all, I'm also sharing some movement, some loving, sweet, calm, peaceful movement that will help you, right? And then let me see, that may be it. Let me look at all of my. Yes, the restructuring of the brain, the actual narrative that the human brain uses, the beautiful, calm, peaceful movements that you use to bring yourself back into that love of play, to remind your body of how much she loves play. The herb that you can use if you need just a little assistance with energy. And then the community that is going to help you, that is going to remind you, that is going to give you some of their thoughts, some of their views, and some of their recommendations on how to stay afloat, on how to stay focused. I think that one of the most difficult realities about living under the domination of white masculine imperialism is that you don't have a community of people who are thinking the opposite. Most people think this is the only way to do it. Most people are working from the perspective of, well, everybody knows you have to do it this way. And so when you start doing it a different way, when you start doing it a new way, you don't have that camaraderie. You don't have a lot of people that you can talk to about it. So the other thing that I'm giving you in these classes is community. So we will start this class. You have always been motivated tonight at 7:30. I would love to see you there. I would love to dive deeper with you into this information. I would love to give you the list for the herbs and give you the link to the different movements that you can do for your body. All right. I'm going to go because I have to prepare for that class. And I also have to feed my serpent. My snake needs to be fed, so I have to feed her today. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the class this evening. And I will also see you in the next live. Ecstasy, abundance, and bliss to all of those within the sound of my voice who are wishing the same for me and mine. And as always, we wish the lessons of life on anyone who is ignorant enough to wish us otherwise. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Everyone who is going to be in the class, I will see you in the class shortly in about an hour. For the rest of you guys, I will see you in the next live. All right. Enjoy your night. Peace. Oh, and the class is, if you want to subscribe to the classes, then you will get the class for the price of $35, but you do have to do the subscription to the classes in order to get that price. All right. I will see you there, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.